All right. So I spent like 2 hours streaming myself editing a podcast episode from a podcast series I'm producing called The Circus. And that was a manual edit. And that was kind of time consuming and not great. And I had to cut out a lot of ums and stuff. So my friend, after talking to my friend, he got me to try out something. I've downloaded a Autopod, which is a podcast, an auto editing thing. Let me just hold on. I'm turning on the NDI connection to my main editing computer. It looks like we are up. I'm going to go to that now. So the interesting thing about this is, first of all, I'm going to do my due diligence. So it's $30 a month, which is totally reasonable if I'm now going to start producing podcasts. And after spending like $3,000 on these OBS bot, tail airs, PTZ, AI webcams, a lot of acronyms being thrown out there. I'm not totally against trying to produce podcasts for people for money, not for free. I don't enjoy it that much. But obviously I want to minimize the amount of work I want to do. I'd rather out there shooting and recording them and then minimal amount of time editing them. Also, computer, turn off garage heater 1. I'll turn off that fan. Yeah, I'm sure you appreciate that. So first things first, I always cancel my 30-day subscriptions immediately. And I'm pretty damn certain in the past, because I've found that I've been billed for things that they sometimes don't always cancel. So I am now going to confirm to you that I did cancel it already. And I'm going to check it out here. We're going to load it up. We're going to do Autopod. Actually, so first of all, I will show you the website. This is one my buddy recommended me. I totally shouldn't be showing you this because this is probably going to be my like secret thing. I also just found out Adobe Premiere has a whole like multi-camera, multi-syncing thing, which is awesome. But and I've been doing like one clip at a time, which is grueling. But now, if I can just give it the 3 clips from the 3 cameras and the audio clips from the audio recorder and the vMix recording where I'm doing a live switch, it'd be great to just like walk away from all that. So yeah, so this is Autopod. It does a bunch of stuff, but I'm mostly just interested in the editing. So let's take a look at me trying to use that. This is my first time. I watched a 12-minute tutorial on it. We'll see. Also, just going to flash you quick. Subscription is canceled. So if I get a $30 bill on my credit card next month, I'm going to be really pissed off. All right. This is from the recovery project. So I have right now 6 podcast episodes to edit. It would be fantastic if these do not take 2 hours each. I did not enjoy it. I don't. It's a beautiful summer day outside. It's getting warm in here already because I turned off the fan. So let's take a looky-loo. So this is Phil. He's good. I'm really just going to go through and do the cuts with, so what do we got here? All right. We've got our final timelines, other timelines. Like, right one. We'll go to Dana. Awesome guy. All right. We got the stupid ass. Man, this is a mess. All right. This is old cut here. You know what? I'm going to back this up. I always do this. Hair editors. Here's like a 20 years of experience guy. I just do this. Old to boom. And actually, yeah, computer, turn on garage heater 1. I've replugged my fan into a heater because it's the summer. Computer, turn on garage heater 1. Yeah, we need that in here. I'm going to die quick. Hopefully. Oh, hey, can I do a noise gate? Do we have noise gate technology after studying plugins? Add. Crumple pot, auto denoise, echo remover. Here we go, noise gate. Is it working? Enable noise. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so I've turned on a noise gate. I've been looking at noise gate technology. I've been like studying it in Premiere. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. How do I monitor this? Okay, this is gonna be a nightmare. one set of earphones. You're not going to be able to witness any of this. I'm really sorry, but let's just find out what this sounds like. All right. One, two. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Check, check. Ooh, that's not great. All right. So anyways, I just yeah, you can see that. There we go. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Compressor, EQ. So just lower. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Channel. Oh, I know. Okay, so if I can EQ this. Oh. Well, that'll do. I mean, can we try these? 1, 2, 3. Oh, damn, that's really nice. Oh, I gotta pay for it. Yeah, you're gonna. I mean, maybe one day, but let's see what we got here. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. All right. Hmm. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, I'm sure that was super boring. Oh God, I can't do that. Um, I've lost my adapter. Okay, so I got my dorky headphones on. Excellent. Uh, so yeah, this one's gonna suck audio-wise. Sorry guys, it's just gonna be the way it is. I don't expect anyone to watch this, and if you are watching this, you probably shouldn't be. So we have copied Dana's thing. Now, what we want to do is we want to delete all of this because this podcast thing just the 3 cameras. And as I talked about, let's just enable this, delete that. Some of the stuff we wanted to do is like, so here's my secret editing sauce. All right. So first we do audio gain. I think I've already done. Oh, I haven't done this. So I just let Premiere examine this, and sort of looking through things. Also, this man's a legend, dude. Seriously, DOP moving into directing. I think plays musician, talented musician, brews, great brewmaster, and he's working on distilling whiskey. And I tried so when whiskey is unaged, it's technically called moonshine. And he, when I was seconding on a feature, he was DOPing. He gave us like little samples, and I didn't know that something that had no fruit in it at any way, like an unaged whiskey, it had like delicious fruity notes in it, like banana or something. And I mean that doesn't sound great, but something that's 60% that is like fruity notes in your mouth. Yeah, man, it was pretty rad. All right, so track 3 is Dana, track 2 is Brad, and track 1 is Wide. Audio track 1 is Brad, audio track 2 is Dana. So let's see what this does. All right, so we want to go into extensions. No, we do not want to find extensions. How long have we been streaming for? 11 minutes. All right, here we go. This is the juicy stuff. Multi-camera editor. Boom. Here we go. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to move this off. Don't need you seeing my my key. This is a 30-month fully functional trial. My buddy Mike recommended this for me. He uses this to edit like 5-hour-long podcasts of dude playing Warhammer. Okay, I've logged in. Select preset. We're going to do a new one. Rob Circus Podcast 1. So yeah, save. Cutting method, enable, disable. This is good because I want to be able to do stuff. Wide shot frequency. Yeah, let's do medium. Let's see. Speaker numbers. 3 cameras. All right. Dana. No, that's Brad. Dana. And then speakers. 1 is all speakers. 2 is Brad. 3 is Dana. Let's just check that. Yep. Okay, good. All right, here we go. Oh, man, this is scary. All right, and then I'm just going to save that. Boom. All right. Fingers crossed, guys. Here we go. Internet power. All right. Now, this isn't going to prevent me from having to watch through it a bunch of time. My hope is that I can get, on the day I can do a live switch just so we have a draft to send the client or the guest. And then I'll get home and I can use auto sync multicam features that I need to watch a tutorial about in Premiere to make the timeline with all the clips. And then I open it and use this on it. And then hopefully I only have to watch it one more time before launch, just to make sure I cut out any weird things or do stuff like that. I can also use Premiere 2024 to remove ums and ahs. Whoa, all right, let's take a look. Autopod multi-camera editor has done it. Duty, okay. 2 little things I'm gonna do just because I love this. I'm really excited about this feature is amplitude. Go into dynamics. We want to turn on the noise gate because that is really a fantastic way of reducing noise. Because like if 2 microphones are going at once, I noticed that the noise from one sort of piled on top of the noise from the other. I can't copy it. Copy track effect. Paste track effect. Looks good, all the same. Okay, great, learn something new. All right.
Dana Bar.
All right, so you guys can hear that. Let's just check. Scarlett 3 USB. All right, here we go. Oop, that ain't working. Okay, hold on, save this. Put my dorky head muffs on. I am cautiously optimistic. This might be a game changer for me. And I'm gonna just shut down my screen sharing. All right, man, I'm using so much of the wild technology in this. I'm using NDI, I'm using vMix to stream this. I'm using Autopod to cut it. Yeah. And I really need to move over to a Premiere 2024 because it has like a filler words removal. And I really want our guests to look as smart and authoritative as possible. I want people to be like, I had so much fun on your podcast. I'm so relaxed. And also, eventually, I want to do my own podcast on like how to be a better dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons, not adult stuff. Man, I should totally make a name that's ambiguous and then just casually get BDSM people on to talk about stuff, and it can all be ambiguous. That'd be fantastic. Is audio still working? Yeah, it looks good. All right. Boom, boom. All All right, VMix, it's gonna work.
Thanks for having me.
There you
Tell us what you do.
go. Oh,
Ooh, that's a complicated question because I do a lot of things. I would call myself an artist in general.
fuck me, this worked. Jesus H. Christ. Also, language. Hey, yeah, these microphones, man. I need better mics or something. I made them myself, but they're not that great. All right.
Because everything I like to do, I like to create. But has related to circus. I'm in the film industry. Have been for 30 some odd years now, and I started out on my way up through film school, then through being a camera department, and eventually became a DP, and now I'm a writer director.
How did you get to
Man, I don't even know how to process this stuff. This is wild. One thing I learned is after listening to it, I just want to crank the podcast voice. I want it to sound good.
Dana Barnaby? Welcome to the circus.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us what you do.
Ooh, that's a complicated question because I do a lot of things. I would call myself an artist in general because everything I like to do, I like to create. But has related to circus. I'm in the film industry. Have been for 30 some odd years now, and I started out on my way up through film school, then through being a camera department, and eventually became a DP, and now I'm a writer director.
How did you get to where you are now? Give us a little background on
Sure.
day one when you wanted to be in the film industry to now.
Well, it was my parents' fault because they put me in productions constantly when I was a kid, and they are to blame, but they also didn't like the fact that I got in the circus. You know, it's a bit of a flighty sorry, what kind of industry? It's very insecure industry where never pop. You know, jobs aren't every day, and my parents would have had it that, and they would have rather have it that way. But so I got in the industry basically because I loved.
You are now. Give us a little background on
Sure.
day one when you wanted to be in the film industry to now.
Well, it was my parents' fault because they put me in productions. Eventually became a DP, and now I'm a writer director.
How did you get to where you are now? Give us a little background on
Sure.
day one when you wanted to be in the film industry to now.
Well, it was my parents' fault because they.
How did you get to where you are now? Give us a little background on
Sure.
day one when you wanted to be in the film industry to now.
Well, it was my parents' fault because they put me in productions constantly when I was a kid, and they are to blame, but they also didn't like the fact that I got in the circus. You know, it's a bit of a flighty sorry, what kind of industry? It's very insecure industry where never pop. You know, jobs aren't every day, and my parents would have had it that. They would have rather have it that way. But so I got in the industry basically because I loved filmmaking, and I went to film school. I was in a band for years and did that as the first go around. And then once I realized I was going to make it as professional, just because the hours were crazy and living in a van across the country with all your friends, back then it's tiring after a while. So film's way better. Yeah, well, it's a circus too, right? So the next thing I did, jumped in the film industry and went to film school, and then Vancouver Film School here in town. That was awesome.
Man, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is freaking wild. I'm flabbergasted. And not only that, it's not just like cutting it. The example I saw cut the clips away, and I really need the clips. So yeah, let me start like, dude, this is just nuts. Oh, wow, like this with removal and stuff, like, ugh, and then the noise gating, like, whew, I have learned so much in the last like week, and yeah, it's kind of great because like one thing I hate is the work. All right, well, that podcast is edited. Essentially, the things I need to do to finish that bad boy off are drop in the other timelines. Life in the Circus, intro animation. All right, let's zoom in on that. Boom. Now, this isn't perfect. Obviously, I'm gonna have to go in because Brad keeps asking them questions after that I'm gonna edit in, and I'm gonna start forbidding that because it's like, man, I do not want to do this. This is like the last thing in the world I want to do.
So much for being on the circus.
Thank you very kindly. It's a pleasure.
Well, that about
All right, Dana Barnaby. Dana Barnaby. Totally using that. Creator, fermenter, and filmmaker. You bet you are. Dude's a legend. Anybody who makes whiskey in my books is just a magician, an alchemist. Oh, Cheryl, yeah. Oh, yeah. You just all saw my LinkedIn. Maybe don't do that. Okay. So the big thing we need to do now is I need to copy over this modern thing. And all right. Man, this is like central. This is like a 10-minute instead of 2 hours. It's like I'm stealing your. Oh, I don't even. Oh man, he's gonna probably not gonna be well received. And then the last thing I need to do is drop in any pictures. Did he send us pictures? So yeah, no, that part has not been edited. No, it is not. Trust me, dude. Trying to minimize the amount of mind-numbing work I do. All right. Revise schedule. We have no pictures of Dana's work. All right, Julio. Okay, let's see what this. All right, so that is one podcast drafted out. It's 30 minutes long. If I watch it at double speed, which you don't need to join me with, yeah. All right, we'll do the next one. Okay, that's Dana Barnaby. Let's do Todd Williams. Let's back that up. Hold one. Miscellaneous. Todd Williams. Dude, this is just a game changer. Like, I mean, I gotta watch it, but I also like half the stuff is like not on art. It's a just get her done, eh? Boom. All right. What do we got here? This one's Brad. Go to audio track mixer. Can we? Oh no, we can't do that. Copy track effect. So yeah, this is. I'm cautiously optimistic that this will hugely reduce my amount of work on these because it would really not be nice to just like watch it through once and be like, "Yep, good job, Rob. You're a genius." Not this like, "Oh, I'm gonna spend like 5 hours of my time off working on this crap." And now these ones, I believe I was using a cloud lifter. I bought like a free, not free. I bought a knockoff cloud lifter for $50 off of Amazon. And what that essentially does is you plug a mic into it and then into a recorder, and it adds like 15 dB of gain to the sound, and hopefully makes the noise floor lower because we were getting a weird like. I don't know if that got picked up with my noise gate, but you get it. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Like nobody's watching my stuff. I love it. Good. I don't want anybody to watch this. I mean, I wore my nice shirt, but you know. All right. So yeah. All right. Todd Williams. He did Legends of Tomorrow. Oh man, I loved that show. Like in our world of everyone's like, you lied to me about your superhero. And it's like Legends of Tomorrow's like, we're gonna take electric scooters back in time, and Genghis Khan's gonna use them. And oh my god, such a good show. Fun. It was fun. You know what we need today is fun. I'm gonna select my circus podcast. And that's Todd, Brad, and the Wide. So that's good. Um, Todd, all speakers, Brad and Todd. Yeah, it's all good. Medium, 2 speakers, 3 cameras. Yep. All right. And Magician. Wow, less than 2 minutes to edit. Well, I would give it 5. Yeah, so if it's like 30 minutes of admin for each episode and then a watch through, and then maybe another 30 minutes, we're probably looking at like maximum an hour, 2 hours max per podcast in post, which would be nice. I mean, there's no way to make it less, but here we go. Mm, 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 mm. Man, one day somebody's going to watch this and it's just going to be really sketch and awkward because I'm like, I'm not a face for camera, man. I'm a behind the camera guy. Let's see. Brad was checking up on me. Can probably cut an hour of work off of each podcast in the editing. I need some like stock dance music. Also, hey, workflow warriors, you want a tip in life? Nobody ever drinks enough water. Get a soda stream, and then you can enjoy delicious orange and grape pop with almost 0 calories whenever you want, and suddenly you'll be healthier because you won't be partially dehydrated. I get the tang, little blast from the childhood. Kind of reminds me of like the McDonald's orange drink they would give to events all the time as a kid. So it took 5 minutes to process, so now all I need to do is offload footage, sync it in Premiere, organize things, set up titles, and then it'll do the edits. Nice. Let's see what that looks like.
Todd Williams, welcome to the circus.
Thank you very much for having me.
Todd, director of photography. Describe
Right.
in your own words what you do.
I've had bunch of podcast interviews. People ask me what I do, and my general answer is I'm a mind reader and an ego manager on set, um,
Man is so
along
wise.
with being, you know, interested in.
Director of photography. Describe in your own words what you do.
I've had bunch of podcast interviews. People ask me what I do.
Describe in your own words what you do. Todd, director of photography. Describe in your own words what you do.
I've had bunch of podcast interviews. People ask me what I do, and my general answer is I'm a mind reader and an ego manager on set, um, along with being, you know, interested in the creative portion of it.
You occasionally put a light up.
Yeah, set a shot.
You occasionally put a light up.
Yeah, set a shot.
Wow.
Occasionally put a light up.
Yeah, set a shot. But you have to, you, in my mind, you got to be able to, I like after working for 2 years as a camera trainee and being on a bunch of sets that were, some of them were a little crazier than others. And I was determined that when I was going to be a DP, that the shows that I worked on were a lot more sane. And it also, I think it allows me, if you're too distracted on set, there's a lot of times where
On and they'll train you on
Yeah.
site. And
Stop. Sorry, that's great. On site, we're gonna pause there. Sorry, two things. Sorry,
oh,
guys.
did I knock something?
No, you're doing awesome. I just moved a little closer to you, and
Oh, okay.
you're gonna drink water,
Oh.
which is totally awesome.
Yeah.
Just don't hold the glass between the mic.
Oh, right.
Okay. You're gonna have to watch that one through, obviously, to cut out stuff. But yeah, that's God damn it! Wow. All right, well, let's do all these, eh? Oh yeah, it does auto backup. Smart Autopod. You are an experienced editor. Was involved in making this. Ooh yeah. Yeah, with all this, it's still going to be at least an hour and a half of editing for each podcast. All right, let's go. Intro animation. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. And then home, zoom in on this.
Todd Williams.
Shuffle at the beginning there. Yeah, I'm so stoked about this. Oh, my God. Just like, dude, you do not know how much of my life is spent. If this can save time, wow. Just, yeah, $30 a month ain't much for this. And I mean, I don't need to get it every month. I honestly could just take like every other month off because I'm going to edit like 10 of these this month. All right, so that's Dana and Todd. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to do.
Todd, director of photography.
Maybe we should move essential graphics into definitely need that massive pain. Let's put it here. It's a pain in the butt. Ah, I'm funny. That's why I have no viewers. All right, this guy's Todd Williams. I should have people listed as their side hustle. So like painter, director of photography. Painter.
Podcasting. I've had
Delete all the extra crap. So that's those. Delete that. Delete the extra tracks. Everything. Everything. Boom. Don't need that. Another. Audio gain. Okay. Loving it. Still the same thing. All right. Let's just copy. Yeah. So move those. Paste these. Also. That in there. Copy track effect. Paste track effect. Paste track effect. All right.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the circus.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Describe in your own words what you do.
I throw electrons from a box and catch them in another box. Is the most basic way.
Okay. Can you expound on that a little bit? I mean, director of photography, as we know, is someone who's kind of in charge of a department that
You didn't like my
gets-
facetious answer, my
I
technical
did it.
exactly what I do.
I didn't know where to go with that.
Okay. Beautiful. Sterling, what a charmer. What everybody says about him. Especially the ladies. I'm kidding. I'm not. Everybody says he's awesome. All right. Yeah. Circus podcast. This is all the same. Sterling. Boom, boom, boom. All right. It's going to take another few minutes. Isn't it great you guys are watching this boring ass stuff? I think you could be doing something better with your life. Being a hero. So one thing I like, there's this guy Cal Newport. He does like stuff on YouTube. He's like a professor at some university, and he writes books on productivity and like not living a completely gong show of a life. And I remember hearing about how he like decided he wanted to do a podcast or a YouTube thing, and so he decided that he was only going to do one afternoon a week, Sunday afternoon, for that, and that's all he does. But he puts out like a lot of good content weekly, and of course he has money because he's a successful adult, unlike myself. and so he can like hire people to do things. But this is the equivalent of that. I'd like to do a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, but I'd like to devote no more than like half a day a week to that. But also, that means like 1 day of shooting a month, and then 1 day of editing a month. Ta-da! All right, here we go. Put that in there. Put that in there.
Behind the scenes. Sterling Bancroft, welcome. Behind the scenes. Sterling Bancroft, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the circus.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Describe in your own words what you do.
I throw electrons from a box.
I wonder if I can use like the text identifier, like closed captioning generator, to find my voice in this, because then if I could find like speaker number 3 when I'm like blah blah blah, do this, that would allow me to cut stuff out. I wonder. That's worth a looky-loo, isn't it? Don't you think, kids? All right, so that is Sterling's. His is kind of done. Also, he sent very clear instructions about making sure we give him a nice CSD after his name, so we'll do that right now. Probably do like facetious DOP or something would be fun. As he calls himself that. I'm not calling him that. And,
In another box.
I mean, his answer is completely accurate. I love how DPs have like, I'm a mind reader, I do this, I paint with light. It's like, yeah, being a DP isn't easy. It's funny how in Vancouver, it's like you can't throw a rock in here without hitting a DOP, but like finding one that's not actually just like a total gong show is actually a lot harder, and those guys are generally busy, and you have to kiss their asses to come out for free. It's always for free. Vancouver, man, nobody pays.
Is the most basic way.
Okay, can you expound on that a little bit? I mean, director of photography, as we know, is someone who's kind of in charge of a department that
You begin by asking that question. A lot of directors don't like that question. They're like, no, that's what I want, but you have to ask why. And once you understand.
All right, great, looking good. Cautiously optimistic. There's Sterling. Oh man, 2 left. Ooh, Peter DeLuise. Man, this guy is a freaking legend. Man is a god among men. Also, mensch. No, I ain't that. I can't use that word. Yeah, no, man, I used to edit Standard Action, this web series I made with my ex, and I used to watch Stargate DVD collections, all 3 series, and I used to listen to the audio commentaries, and he directed a bunch of episodes. He directed like every 3rd episode, and man, like, yeah, it's just, oh. Copy track effect. So fast now. This is the long one. This is the one I'm really doing this for, as I did not want to edit this. All right.
Los Angeles. So that's where we grew up. And that's when I, even as a young child, first started to get excited about.
because we kind of went backwards here. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. We talked about what I do and I guess what a director is, right?
Yeah, and and the next one's kind of influences. Do you want to talk a little bit about outside of your mom and dad? who your influences were, and then
Sure.
what is it about the industry that excites you? Is where I'm at, and then to some favorite movies of yours that inspired you.
Right. Um,
I'll start with a question.
Sure.
Right, Robbie?
yeah, go ahead.
Other than your mom and dad, who else have influenced your career along the way?
So when I was very young, I watched an enormous amount of theater, married, and pretty soon my dad was guest spotting on the.
Here we go. Copy this. Problem. I shouldn't have changed the gain on the microphones. Better believe it.
Dean Martin show, and they said, "Well, it makes no sense for Don DeLuise to commute back and forth from New York when he was on every week." So then my dad resolved to with my mom to move out to Los Angeles. So that's where we grew up, and then that's when I, even as a young child, first started to get excited about being on television. I couldn't imagine wanting to. So he was thrilled to tell that story to anyone who would listen. Yeah.
So at a young age, that obviously influenced you to go. As you got older, it's like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I need to head that direction.
Well, it felt like a fun thing to do, and everything else paled. I think you're trying to get me on the payroll class. Was
I loved your dad's sense of humor, and
Yeah.
I certainly like. He's like, let's just. I loved your dad's sense of humor, and I certainly like. He's like, let's just shoot my son.
I think you're trying to.
It was a little trickier. It's picking
Over
up.
that.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. We talked about.
Talk a little bit about.
Sure.
What is it about the industry?
Okay, that's sounding better.
Wow. And
This
when I was
is-
quite young, yeah, when my dad was directing something a long time ago, stunt credit, shotgun through the mid torso, went through the crashing through some glass. It was.
I loved your dad's sense of humor, and I
Yeah.
certainly like. He's like, let's just shoot my son on a movie that I'm making.
I think you're trying to get me on the payroll. I think that
Right.
was the intention.
Right.
Yeah.
And that kicked off your acting career,
Something
starting
like-
in stunts.
Well, that was just a byproduct of him trying to get me on the payroll. Very early on, both my parents were in the industry. They got their start in musical theater. My father went to the high school performing arts, the Fame, the movie that the high school.
All right, cool. I'm really happy about this. I'm gonna get bogged down with all that crap. Let's just get these like cut up. So yeah, auto camera, multi-camera editor. Cool. Load the presets, Circuit podcast, heater, and this is all correct. Create multi-camera timer does not start on frame 1. All video tracks must start on. Okay, thanks. Okay. I just Google it, and apparently Tuesday or Wednesday are the best times to launch a podcast episode. Just give me like 15 more minutes. I'm using this AI thing to do the rest of our episodes. I've already edited 4 in the time we've been texting today. I still need to watch through each one and cut like our talking and stuff, like my talking out and the resets for questions, but yeah. Ooh. Wow.
Peter DeLuise. Behind the scenes. Peter DeLuise, welcome to the circus.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Where to begin? Actor, producer, writer, director, anything else?
I did some set dressing for an independent film one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Describe what you do now.
I did some stunts as
I should, oh my God, I should have him be, hold on. I'm just looking at Peter DeLuise' interview. He keeps saying he did other roles. Should I pop up a lower thirds that has Peter DeLuise, like director, and then Peter DeLuise stunts, Peter DeLuise actor, just so we can cover all of the things he's done?
Actor, producer, writer, director,
my dad was directing something a long time.
Well, that about wraps it up.
All right, last one. Neil McBride. All right, delete all that. All of this. Delete. Track. Enable all that. All right, fire up this Autopod. Yeah, it's surprisingly consistent in setting up these timelines. Way to go, Rob. All right.
Your magic in getting their lovely faces, I am also helping record their dialogue.
So a fairly integral part to the movie making process.
Oh, we are a major ingredient in the recipe of film.
People don't take into consideration how important sound can be, and I'm not talking just music, but good sound can make or break a
Completely.
movie.
Completely. Watch. Weren't you guys talking about a certain Christopher Nolan movie before I got here? Because I'm sure we all know what it is, but there's scenes where which blew me away. But anyway, this is going out to the whole world, isn't it? Anyway, love your work, Mr. Nolan. Love to work on.
All right, looking good. Here we go. Multi-camera editor. Loading my presets. They're all the same. Thank God I did all these at the same time, and they're just like, I don't even need to change names. It'll do its magic. I got like 2 more after this in another program. Yeah. Well, it's been 1 hour, and I've pretty much done much better rough edits of like 5 episodes of a podcast series, 4 episodes. Let's see. Peter, Neil, Todd, and Dana. Also, I installed it and figured out how to use the bloody thing. The only thing left to do is Polly and what's her name? Story person. All right.
Thank you again so much, Neil. Well, that about wraps it up for another episode of Crew Tales.
Oh yeah, 5. Not bad. I mean, I still got to go through them and like clean things up, but that's huge. All right, you know what? I'm gonna open up the other project files and just do the cuts on them. I'm not going to. Good, you can see my horrifying file structure. Podcast. Save to project files. Okay. Let's just check this name. All right, cool. So I don't understand why I've imported 3 and 4 into here. Let's just delete those. Here's Holly was my boss. And you know, I think you learn a lot about people when they're your boss and they not sure they're ever going to see you again. And you know, everyone thinks Polly's like really nice and like the sweetest person in the world. And after being her camera trainee, essentially her slave for 5 weeks, I would say that it is all completely true. God, she's so nice. Like seriously, just such a sweetheart. I would, yeah, no, if I like, what a great person, super talented as well, and just like, yeah, I don't know, definitely someone who is gonna probably go a lot further than me in the future. Oh man, I need to get my life together. All right, audio track mixer, dynamic. I'm gonna do this. Dynamic noise gate.
Tracking down all these bits and pieces.
Yes.
How do you go about doing that, and where do you find these bits? Props are considered one end to the other. What a prop can be, right?
Yes. So a prop can be anything. So it can be a pencil, it can be a glass, it can be food, it can be anything. And you're tracking it down. We're for
That looks good. All right, copy, paste, check the gain. Oh, that looks good. Essential sound. Podcast voice. Gonna crank that up. There. Noise removal. Yeah. All right. That's all looking good. All right. Here we go again. Oh, this one's different. We're gonna need to fix it. Oh, and I think these are backwards.
fortunate enough in Vancouver, there's a lot of rental houses here. So rent from them.
All right. So. Let's try this. Extensions. Multi-camera editor. I don't think names matter, so we'll just do that. Circus podcast. Oh, you can do more speakers. Anyone tuned in? I hope not. Today has been an incredibly productive day, and I think I deserve to drink some alcohol tonight. I've been trying to lose weight, and probably not drinking every day is a really good idea. But I think tonight I may enjoy some wobbly pops. God damn it. Dude, this is insane. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's like,
Thank you.
Bava, you are a props master.
Yes, I am indeed.
Excellent. In your words, what does a props master do?
Well, we start off on prep. So, and then we get the script, break it down, and basically anything an actor interacts and touches, that's props. So we'll break down a script from beginning to end and see what the actor will need, not just what the script provides, but also we have to kind of go out of the box and figure
fucking incredible. The best part is it's not that easy to use. So like, I mean, some guy could see this and be like, "Oh, I can do my podcast stuff myself. Why am I hiring you?" And it's like, "Good luck. 10 years experience in Adobe Premiere. I can do this stuff blindfolded." All right. Oh, I didn't back it up. Ooh. Let's do this. Let's dance. Okay. All right. Reduce noise. That's important. Gonna crank that. Dynamics. Not caring about this. Gonna crank the podcast voice. Yeah. Levels. Do that.
add to this character.
So that implies tracking down all these bits and pieces.
Yes.
How do you go about doing that, and where do you find these bits? Props are considered one end to the other. What a prop can be, right?
Yes. So a prop can be anything. So it can be a pencil, it can be a glass, it can be food, it can be anything. And you can track it. Tracking it down. We're fortunate enough in Vancouver, there's a lot of rental houses here. So we can either rent from them or we can buy it or we can even build the props. It all depends. The more
Okay. Good. I believe these episodes I didn't have the cloud lifter things. They're not cloud lifters. I can't afford cloud lifters. And I love, like, man, reading some of the reviews about podcasts. They're like people who are like podcast coaches are like, well, you know, if podcasting is going to be your hobby, you should be willing to spend at least $30 a month on it. That's nothing. And it's like, bro, I just dropped like $3,000 on cameras, $500 on microphones, $1,000 on an audio recorder. Like, I get what you're saying, but also, you know, maybe, just maybe, it's not great. Okay, here we go. Multi-camera editor, doing this. Here we go. Same thing. Select my preset, Circus Podcast 1, and working the magic. Working the magic. It says it's going to be like 3 minutes. That's the longest one ever. Huh. Well, all right. There's dancing. I have a bottle of homemade pineapple cider. I'm going to reward myself with that tonight. I'm going to get sloppy drunk. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. You can do this. I know. I will read today's daily Stoic meditation while we wait. July 31st. Your career is not a life sentence. How disgraceful is the lawyer whose dying breath passes while at court at an advanced age, pleading for unknown litigants still seeking the approval of ignorant spectators. Seneca on the Brevity of Life 20.2. We must not get so wrapped up in our work that we think we're immune from the reality of aging in life. Who wants to be the person who can never let go? Boom. Here we go.
Hey, Pierce, join us. Polly, welcome to the circus.
Thank you.
All right, it's got a bunch of rendering to do, but my first impressions of Autopod are that it is outstanding, and I'm really excited. I don't make any money doing this podcast stuff yet, but if I did, I would absolutely pay for this. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think I'm going to take a break and go put that pineapple cider in the fridge. So yeah, yeah. You guys have a great night, and maybe one day I'll actually start properly editing some videos here.